Factors and multiples. What's the concept, the difference, and what connects these two terms? In this video, we are going to take a brief yet in-depth view of factors and multiples. I am going to use a multiplication table to explain these two concepts. But first, what are multiplication tables and how do they work? Well, a multiplication table makes it easy to view the result for multiplying two numbers. For instance, when I multiply 2 by 3, I get 6. This can instantly be viewed on the table where the second row and the third column intersect, and we can see that the value is still 6. When we multiply 4 by 5, we get 20. This can also be viewed by the intersection of the fourth row and the fifth column, and we can see that the answer is still 20. When we multiply 7 by 8, we get 56. This can also be viewed on the multiplication table where the 7th row and the 8th column intersect, and we can see that the value is still 56. Now let's see how this connects to our main topic. Moving on, it is important to note that the multiples of a number are products of that number and a whole number. Now we are going to illustrate what this means and how these multiples can be viewed on the multiplication table by finding that of 6. And we'll use random whole numbers to multiply 6 to get the corresponding multiples. For instance, when we multiply 6 by 1, we get 6. That makes 6 a multiple of 6. When we multiply 6 by 4, we get 24. That also makes 24 a multiple of 6, since I multiply 6 by a whole number 4 to get 24. If I multiply 6 by 7, we get 42. And 42 is a multiple of 6 because we multiplied 6 by a whole number 7 to get 42. And this applies for other whole numbers on this that we can view on this table: 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Now that we've gotten some of the multiples of 6, it is important to note that it doesn't end with these values that we can see here. Rather, it continues till infinity. Now what this means is that if I multiply 6 by any other whole number apart from 1 to 10, I can still get a multiple of 6. For instance, if I multiply 6 by 15, I get 90, which is also a multiple of 6. Now let's move on to what factors are. A factor is a whole number that divides into another number without a remainder. To understand what this means, let's compare two scenarios. When we divide 28 by 7, we get our answer to be 4, and we do not have any remainder. As you can see, the remainder is 0. This makes 7 a factor of 28, as well as 4 here. It is also important to note that a number can be written as a product of two factors. So given that 7 and 4 are factors of 28, when we multiply 7 by 4, we should get 28. As we can see here, this makes this case correct. Now compare it to this case where we divide the same number 28 by 3, but we get 9 with a remainder of 1. This shows that 3 is not a factor of 28. We can see this concept replayed on the multiplication table, except in this case we will use 18. Now the first thing we will have to do is to identify all the places where we have 18 on the table. Now remember that we concluded earlier that we can express any number as a product of two factors. To express 18 as a product of two factors, let's take the first one, which is 1 multiplied by 18. This gives 18. That makes 1 and 18 factors of 18. When we multiply 2 and 9, we also get 18, as we can see on the table here. That makes 2 and 9 factors of 18. When we multiply 3 by 6, we also get 18. That makes 3 and 6 factors of 18. This shows us that the factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. We've now come to the end of this video. Well done if you watched up to this point. Do consider sharing and subscribing if you found the content useful, and see you next Thursday.